Good morning, everybody. How are we? I can see we've got quite a few people in the chat already. I'm quite surprised at that. We've got Ms. Theosaurus, good morning. And we've got a touch of sparkle. Well, there's a stranger. How are you? I'm just going to turn this camera a little bit offset, jaunty angle there. Oh, we've got an Australian as well. Hello. BLI Yana Medic 8598. What do we call you, fellow caver? That's a very long username I can see there. Hi Katana, how are you doing? I hope everyone's good this morning. I have graced you with my authentic bedhead this morning. To keep on brand, you know. I hope everyone's good this morning. It's extremely overcast here. It's not very warm this morning. A wee bit quiet. Okay, well, let's fix that. Let's just bump this up a wee bit. Is that better? Does that sound better? I was tinkering with my microphone. I don't know what it was, but every time OBS updates, sometimes it just decides that a Yeti microphone doesn't exist. So I don't really know what that's all about, but tell me if that's any better, because I can bump it up a little bit more, and hopefully that will be sufficient. No, it's not just you, Thea, apparently. Just call me Billy. Okay, hi Billy. Lovely to have you. I hope it's a decent afternoon in Australia. I'm assuming because it's winter time. Okay, right, let me just keep bumping that up a little bit. Tell me if it's too loud though. Right, how's that? Is that better? Everyone's like, a little bit more, just a little bit more. Slightly more. So as always, I have my my cup of tea. Oh good, okay, excellent. First cup of tea of the day. It will not be the last also. Anyway, I hope everyone's had a good week. It's I've had quite a busy week this week. I've just had one of those weeks where every day I'm just like jumping from task to task to task, and I've been trying to find a bit of breathing space, and I've been trying to find my doodle hour, which I talked a little bit about in the last live stream. I was trying to find myself an hour every day just to sit with my sketchbook, not necessarily to do anything particularly productive, but just to really get back into, you know, to doing some art. So I have not managed it. I am managing to find about half an hour though, so I figured half an hour is better than nothing. So I'm going to try and keep that up and just do whatever tickles my fancy. the urge or the need to use that half hour, because time's quite precious to me, to do cave stuff like filming bits of videos and editing, that is strong, and I'm trying to keep that separate. It's quite difficult though, because I'm sitting, maybe sit down my sketchbook and think I should just go through to the cave, and I could just edit this little bit, and it's like, no, that's not what it's for. So I'm trying very hard to discipline myself with that. There are days when I just can't do it, I'm just too busy, but I am trying, and I'm going to try and keep that up for the next little while, just to get some arting in for myself. That's one of the things when you've got a setup like this where you're working a job, you've got quite a lot going on at home. Obviously for me that's dogs, farm stuff, etc. And you're also trying to run an online shop and do a YouTube channel. It's quite difficult to balance things like that, but you fall into this trap of everything that you art ends up, you're like, oh well, I can use that for YouTube, or I can do that in a live stream, and you end up, you don't actually art for yourself. Eventually you're doing it for a purpose, and that's one of those things where it doesn't take the fun out of it, that's not what I mean, but you end up not doing any art for yourself, and that was the whole point when I started doing art, was to do it for myself. So I feel that the half hour the half hour is very, very important if I can squeeze it in. It's grey, windy and cold, perfect time to stay home and watch you. Yeah. Well, to be fair, I mean, it's grey and not very warm here either, but that's Scotland for you. Yeah, basically, Billy, everybody apart from you and I is absolutely melting in ridiculous temperatures, apparently. It's been very pleasant here, but we're not getting above sort of 18, 19 degrees on a good day just now. And the mornings it's cold. When I went out for my run yesterday morning, I'm running in a sleeveless top, so like a workout tank, and like 3/4 leggings, so they stop just under my knees. And when I went out on Friday morning, I was like, oh, it's actually a bit chilly. I was like, I need to get moving quickly and kind of like warm myself up a little bit. And I'm like, it's the middle of July, this is ridiculous. But we seem to be getting the warmer temperatures much, much later in the day. Normally they say that peak heat's between like 12 and 3, and we're not really seeing the sun, and it's not heating up until 3 in the afternoon, and then between 3 and 6 it's absolutely gorgeous, and then the temperature just starts to drop off again. So we're in quite a unique position, but I do say this is the best time of year to be Scottish. Our weather's absolutely pants like the other 90% of the time, but we get this little window about now, but we don't see the sunshine and the temperatures that everyone else gets. So but I for one, I'm not complaining. I'm not a huge fan of like mega heat anyway. Again, being Scottish, it's just not conducive to a happy gem. So I'm quite happy for now, honestly. 30 plus and very high humidity. Yeah, that's one thing we do get though, is the humidity is outrageous here. We could, even at 18 and 19 degrees, our humidity can be like 95%, and unfortunately I've been out running in that, and it is absolute torture. Like, it's horrible. You just can't get a breath, and you're like just basically wet from the second you go out the door. So but I would take that over ridiculously high temperatures. I was talking to Miss Julia Kay on Wednesday as well. Was that Wednesday? Yeah, and it was like 34 degrees in Sweden, and Swedish people aren't meant for sunshine. Like, most of them are very pale and blonde haired, so there's a lot of sunburn going on as well. The fact that you even go out running with those kinds of humidity. Well, again, if the temperature's lower, it's not too bad. Like, say if you've got 95% humidity, but it's only like 16 degrees, it's fine. It's when you get up to sort of, I would say like sort of 17, 18, that's really where you start to feel it and you see it, because you're only going for a couple of minutes and say the sweat's just lashing off you. But the problem is it's the air intake, because obviously there's more water molecules, and I don't know if you want to measure it in parts per million or whatever, but what you're actually breathing in, you're having to breathe more to get the oxygen that your body needs to fuel your muscles. And that's why, like, a really easy 5-mile run feels like a really hard 10-mile run. As long as you're well hydrated though, and you don't overheat, it's absolutely doable. It's fine. And you acclimatise, like, you get used to it. So I've only had a couple of really uncomfortable days, and that's why I go out at like 5 o'clock in the morning. If anyone was to see my run records on Garmin, like the latest I'm out is like 6:15 in the morning, and it's so I can absolutely avoid all the uncomfortableness that are humanly possible. Yeah, breathing's already fun with the 30 plus. Yeah, no running for Thea. Julia's good. She's fine. She's very pink. she's quite sunburnt. She's doing okay. Yeah. Health wise, she's making progress as well. So she's a happy camper. I did say to her I'm never ever visiting Sweden in the summer though. If it's going to be 34 degrees. I'm like, nope, it's not happening. Right. Okay. So today, we're going to revisit our friend Mildred today. Ages ago in a stream, we made some suggestions for perhaps a little bit of artwork or some stickers of Mildred on tour or Mildred going on holiday. So I would like to explore that today and maybe try some of them out because I think that would be excellent fun. I did make a note of them. I thought I still had them on a post-it note. That's what I was raking about for over here, but I'm that organised. I put them on a list on my iPad because that's what we do here. So I'm just gonna grab that and I shall refresh your memories on what the suggestions were. I thought it was about time, and now that we've got the good weather and everything, I mean these stickers probably won't be ready until autumn, but I thought it would be a good time to make a start. Also, I did actually technically, let me just pop you on top down here. I'll move everything out of the way. I did actually put it on a post-it note, but it's a post-it note within my iPad. So yeah, we've got Mildred on a deck chair. Mildred on a Vespa scooter, obviously with the goggles and the helmet. Going camping, building sandcastles, skydiving. Again, that kind of brings us back to the comedy goggles situation and maybe a flappy udder. And on a bus, so like maybe leaning out like a Greyhound bus or something, going on our holidays, like hey, that kind of thing. So, Mermu in Hawaii. We could make Mildred into a Mermu. She would have to go and find our actual Mermu then, wouldn't she? She'd have to go and find Gloria. So that's the kind of things we're going to be doing. Ideally, by the end of the stream today, I would like to have maybe 2 solid-ish designs. And if we've got another, a few extra ideas, then that would be great as well. So I'm just in my wee Moleskine sketchbook here. That's the result of my doodle half hour. These are my pretty running shoes. These ones haven't actually been broken in. They haven't been running yet. I just think that they're... It's a trail shoe. Trail shoes get dirty, and I don't know who thought it'd be a good idea to bring out a trail shoe in an extremely pale blue colour. So I thought I would document it while they're still clean, because I will be wearing them at some point. Anywho. Let's get some pencils out. Hi Angela, how are you? Thea's still on for the Vespa. I think I need to look up some reference images for the Vespa, honestly. I think as well, the main thing that we have to think about, we're doing this, oh this page is grubby already. I think the main thing that we have to think about is positioning, like in terms of what viewpoint we are looking at these images, because obviously we need to maximise the udder comedy. So, sometimes a side-on view might not be as fun as a sort of 3/4 view or a face-on view. That's one thing I will say about this sketchbook. It is watercolour paper, and using pencil, there is quite a lot of transfer from page to page. I feel as if I should spray that with fixative just so that it doesn't transfer onto this page. I'm not overly convinced about this sketchbook at all, and here's my reasoning. Give me 1 second. Where is my watercolour sketchbook? Oh, it's in there. Found it. Okay, so just to give you an idea of my reasoning for this. So this is the Moleskine one. The paper quality is very, very good. Obviously it's watercolour paper. And the paper's lovely, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely grand. I like this format of sketchbook. I like the rounded corners and I like the size better. If you remember, my last sketchbook was the big yellow Leuchtturm, and it was a big square thing. And that was good if you had a lot of ideas that you wanted to put down like on one sheet of paper, but it was a pain in the ass to lug about with me, and being yellow, the cover got grotty really quickly, and that was not watercolour paper. The other thing I really like about this as well is ones with the pocket in the back, and quite a lot of sketchbooks have got that now, but, here is the sea white one, okay? So, very similar in terms of the actual format of it. It is A5 though. This is like a weird in-between size, which, okay, fine, nice. But I just feel like you've got a bit more breathing space, but it's still compact enough to, you know, to take about with you. The paper is a bit more textured in here. Again, as watercolour paper, it's great, and it's got pockets in the back here. You know, you've got a side pocket and you've got a wee pocket in there. So it's still got everything that the Moleskine has got. And I do find that both take pencil perfectly, and you know, I like to work in pencil too. So even though it's watercolour paper, one of the reasons I wanted it is because I do work in pencil a lot and I like texture with my pencil. So using the cold press watercolour paper suits me down to the ground. The thing that gets me though is this one, the sea white one, is like half the price of the Moleskine one. So I'm kind of like not really not really worth it, honestly. I'm not that much of a watercolour paper snob because I think that the paper's really good quality in this for the amount of money that you're paying. So I'm not convinced by this, and I just feel as if, see, when I'm sketching in it, I feel as if I could just do with a wee bit more room. You know, see, just having that like little extra, like couple of centimetres makes all the difference. So I wouldn't not recommend the Moleskine ones. But even the build quality, like see the bound quality and the actual quality of the sketchbook, there's not that much of a difference considering the price difference. So yeah, not to bash the Moleskine, but I don't think I'll get another one. I think I'll just stick to these sea white watercolor journals because they do a great job, and you say they're half the price. And it means as well, like, see if you lose it, I mean, no one likes losing a sketchbook, but if you do lose it, it doesn't feel quite as painful, unless it's like maybe 3/4 full and, you know. Oh, don't tell me that that's got quieter again, because this used to do this before, Thea, didn't it? It did it once before. I have not changed the volume or anything. I have not touched anything, but again, I can bump that up very slightly. Is it noticeably quieter, Thea? Oh. Right, that's about as loud as I can go. I don't know why it does that. Okay, so let's think about Mildred. I'm gonna just, if you bear with me a wee second, I'm gonna pull up that sounds a bit better. Okay, I'm just gonna pull up a wee reference picture of Mildred. So this was like one of the original drawings I did. Because originally she was, if you remember way back, she was a polymer clay model. That's how it started. She wasn't a drawing. So it's kind of important that I try and stick to that likeness, because I mean, you'll have seen it with loads of characters and, you know, cartoons and stuff. They do evolve over time, they kind of change slightly, but I want to try and keep her as true to form as possible. And so the main sort of characteristics that we're going to look at encompassing, that's a good word for a Saturday morning. God, it's a bit early for words like that. I know what's doing this. It's the dark indigo pencil I've used down here. I can grab a sheet of paper. I'm just going to pop this down over the other side so that I don't smudge everything. I will spray that with fixative once we're finished today though. Okay, so when we think about Mildred, the main characteristics that we want to try and not lose are, first of all, her wonky horns, because she's got one that kind of goes this way, so this is like from the front, and then our other one kind of like sticks out, but it comes forward, so it comes like this way. So when we're thinking about rotating our view and what angle we're viewing her from, we need to bear that in mind. And also the fact that she's got slightly wonky eyes, because she's got one that kind of comes out a bit and then the other one's a bit more rounded, and that is just what sort of helped with her derpiness. Mildred's World Tour. Now, see, if I'd been any sort of business person, I would have done a set of stickers in time for the World Cup. So yeah, our ears are fairly standard. They're just, again, they're slightly uneven, but that was done on purpose. But obviously the main thing is our beautiful udder. Beautiful udder with our teats. So those are the main things that we need to consider when we're when we're trying to cram it into a Vespa. Oh, goodness me. And we've got our wee tail as well, because I made our tail quite bushy. Our tail's got like a proper pom-pom. Normally cows, like actual cows, real life cows, their tails normally have this long, if you don't cut it, that is, obviously, but the kind of poofy bit at the end gets really long. So it kind of looks more like this, and then when they start to get dirty and whatnot, this goes into like a curl, you know, like a sort of spiral curl. And well, loads of people like brush them out and stuff. Obviously we don't brush them out, but if you see like show cows, they brush them out and it goes into this big floof, so it's a long version of that, and it kind of sits out like that. Looks like a kind of like a duster. But I just, again, obviously when I'm polymer claying it, I was trying to be careful and not have bits that might break off in the oven, so that was why I opted for this sort of smaller poofy version. So when we're thinking about anything with movement, obviously our tail could go like way out behind her. Again, I was thinking about the Vespa there. You know, if she's riding along on her Vespa, then her tail might be like flapping about like a flag. Nah, no more World Cup. Can't support either. Too many corruption accusations for Argentina, and Spain kicked us out of the cup. So go Spain. I know France and England are playing for, I'm calling it the wooden spoon, the bronze match today, for third and fourth place. So yeah, go France. But yeah, I'd like Spain to win. I would like Spain to win. I think that would be nice. Obviously, Scotland didn't last long, but same old story. We were there for a good time, not for a long time. We knew that, you know, we're very realistic. We'd have loved to see France beat England in the finals. No. We do not want to see England in the final. And it's not that I don't want England to win anything. It's just the fact that as a Scot, we would never hear the end of it. And it would be brought up every single time football was mentioned, like from now until eternity. And I can't be bothered with that. Also, I work, my company that I work for, my proper job, is based in England. So I would never hear the end of it at work either for such a long time. Such a long time. Anywho. Okay, so will we start with a Vespa? I'm really croaky this morning. I don't know what's going on. Nobody's doing anything about it. Well, I mean, obviously, like, FIFA aren't exactly the bastion of all things holy. And the fact that they gave Trump an award, and the fact that the World Cup's in America, and yeah, so, you know, anywho. Right, let me see if I can pull up a Vespa image. Not a Vespa specifically, but we'll ask for a Vespa. Vespa scooter. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, they're one of the first images is a little girl on a pink one. Okay. So, this is going to be a lesson in itself. Even the American players went and apologised. So some of them have got a spare, like some of them have got a, okay. Oh, this isn't just going to be straightforward as I thought. So the main thing is from the front, that there's this sort of iconic panel. And they've got the front mudguard. It kind of comes down. There's a few different models here, and some of them are slightly more ergonomic than others. Not drastically so, but there's a difference. That's a bit chonky. It's a bit chonky. Narrow that down a bit. And then we've got the tire, which is very thin. Now, all of them do have a light. Some of them are like rectangular and some of them are round. I feel like round, you know, like a more classic Vespa. I think a round one would be much more suitable. I just think it would fit Mildred better. Does that make sense? Go and get your sketchbook. You can do it with your, have you got your brace on? No, you can. I did it with a broken hand. Do the trick, Thea. Go and get yourself some, like a rag or something, and wrap it around a paintbrush and just tape it on. As long as you can keep your hand in like that position, which you should be able to do. Just make it really fat and just get some watercolour out and slosh some watercolour about. Either you could do it with your other hand if you're feeling fancy. I would highly recommend it. I found it quite entertaining when my thumb was not very good. Not very good, it was just broken. Right, okay, handlebars. So that this casing comes down. You can't, it's kind of difficult to see in some of these pictures. But the handlebars come down like this. I think as well, I would probably exaggerate things like the light. Again, just maybe for more like comedy value. Maybe not comedy value, there's nothing funny about handlebars. Well, I suppose we could make them funny some way. But so we're kind of like that. And then they've got the cute little wing mirrors as well. Again, some of them are rectangular, some of them are round. I'm assuming that'll depend on the year and the model. Again, I think round ones would be more fitting. And the badge. So the badge sits about there. This mudguard's too big. Like that size. And again, this sort of more classic looking one. I'm looking at a yellow one and it's the the back like sort of wheel arches are green and the rest of it's yellow. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. I can't see one. So when you're looking at it from the front, you actually can't see the back at all. Like that's literally all you can see if it's like square on. But the actual Vespa logo is always on this side. That's in all of the pictures. So, and they all have this like lovely chrome trim. That goes round and down. Okay, so that's a fairly sensible front view. It's not exactly very accurate, where it was off centre there. But you get the idea. Again, I've never drawn a Vespa before, you know. I can conjure one up in my mind, no problem. But never sketched one out. I feel like that's a bit more centred. Okay. Kids sometimes have those frilly colourful bands on there, whatever the name of the handles are. They're just handlebars. The question is, though, what colour would Mildred's Vespa be? That's the important question here. Very important question. Right, let me see if I can get more of a side view. Again, the ones from the side view here are more like the more modern ones, and I don't see her. I see her on a vintage one, like for sure. Baby blue. Baby blue. I've got my polychromos pencils here. Let me just whip one out. Speaking of polychromos pencils, I am now on the investigation route for the new sets of polychromos. So I'm now waiting on an email back. I did only affected, yeah, so I'm sorted out with the wholesalers. I have an account with them. So I'd sent an email quite late on yesterday, to be fair, about the new sets of pencils, so I probably won't hear back until Monday. So I am on the case, and I will let you all know what's what in due course. In an ideal situation, I would do a pre-order. There's a kind of part that comes down there as well. I would do a pre-order, but I would also order extra sets as well. So there would still be stock in the shop, but it means that anyone that wanted them would be able to, you know, they would be guaranteed a set basically, and that would allow me to make a sort of an educated decision on how many units to actually buy in. So that would be the ideal scenario. Whether it's going to go like that or not, I don't know. And again, I don't know about release date information, that kind of thing. So that's kind of stuff I'm waiting on. But I will inform everyone. I don't know if we've got that many people in the UK that are actually in the stream just now. It's everyone from everywhere else, apart from Angela. But yeah, that would be the ideal situation. And again, normally with these types of things, with these big companies, and especially with such a big product, obviously polychromos pencils haven't changed in forever. So this is quite a big deal. And normally the manufacturer puts a minimum retail price on them. So there's like a minimum amount you can sell them for. And obviously there's ethical reasons and one thing and another for that. So I would like to think though, because I'm just a small business, obviously it's just me and it's just this room, it's just the cave. With these recommended retail prices, I tend to be able to go at the lower end and still make a bit of profit because I don't have the overheads of a warehouse and staff and all that kind of thing. So I would imagine, depending on, unless they've just got a hard line, you know, maybe there isn't much room for manoeuvre, but I would like to think that I'd be able to provide them at quite a competitive price as well. Yeah, Thea's got a thing about this, like she's moderately upset about this, aren't you, Thea? So yeah, I am working on that. Okay, so if we had a baby blue Vespa, Vesca's the Swedish word for a bag, like a carrier bag. That's funny. Moderately, very. Of course, Billy's in Australia. Yes, so you guys have had a sneaky peeky already. You're not planning on to buy any yet, not yet. Are you holding off? I would be interested to know. Right, I think what I'm going to do is I think let's just take this out of here. I'm trying to give myself some space. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done that over there. It's too early in the morning, clearly. Yeah, so let's get a side-on view. Oh. Well, this is actually someone selling this. I was going to show you this. This is someone selling this as a print. Copyright and all that. Oh, it's so pretty. This one's orange. Orange. I need the 20 new colours. I'm quite interested to see how I would, like, how much I'm going to use the new colours. Obviously, as a long time polychromos user. I'm very settled and very like, I'm kind of like not set in my, well, I suppose I am set in my ways with the, you know, the colours that we've got. So I mean, I wonder how many of them I would actually use, because it seems to be a lot of pastel colours, doesn't it? And I do think, and I will say that, I do feel that there's, when it comes to the actual set, you know, how rounded they are as a set, I feel like there's places where they're lacking pale colours. Hey, Jan. But I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to be feeling it, if you know what I mean. You haven't missed much this morning, Jan. Thea's just having a rant about Australia having the new polychromos before everyone else, and we have Billy in the chat who is in Australia. From the video, they are very pale. I haven't watched the video yet. Oh, I've had my weather forecast in for today. Highs of 19, lows of 9. Yeah, I would say it's probably about 10 degrees just now. I don't know, I haven't been outside. I'm an absolute beginner and I have to use cheap pencils first, otherwise my husband will divorce me. Fair comment. Well, I have to say the polychromos are an investment, like they really, really are. I mean, I started the same way. I started with cheap pencils. I'm trying to get the feel of this tire in under here. That seems like a really big exhaust that's on that. Interesting. So this is like the housing. I feel like that's too big as well. I think I'm going to have to do a bit of work on this if I'm going to go from this angle. Again, this front mudguard's much, much wider on this one compared to the other one. This looks like an older one though, weirdly. And I probably, if I actually took some time to look, I'd probably be able to find out, but I'm more interested in just getting some sketches down, honestly. If I get my hands on the new colours today, I'd throw away the brace and just deal with the pain. That's funny. So it's safe to say that Thea is more than moderately excited about the new pencils. I mean, to be fair, they are my go-to pencils. I use them for almost everything. And the Vespa logo's at an angle on this one. How strange. Okay, fine. The top part's just the same, obviously. It's the same handlebars. This one's only got one wing mirror as well, not two. And then I've got like the floor panel there. And that kind of like curves down. This is interesting. I've never drawn a Vespa before. The seat's really padded as well. Like, that's a lot of padding. Like, I need to give it a bigger bum as well. This isn't coming out far enough. I want to fix this as well. This feels too big. Looks more like a motorbike wheel. That's better. Ha! Better. Okay, so that's helped a lot in terms of what we need to actually achieve here. And, you know, it's just even a front and a side is helpful. That's more or less a side view. The light's quite large, compared to the handlebars as well. This one has silver handlebars as well. How nice. It's got a fancy one. And then see, it's only got one wee wing mirror. And this one's orange. I don't think Mildred would have an orange Vespa personally. Just my thoughts. So again, basically everything, like the whole thing is orange apart from the handlebars and the seat. And say this one, this back housing for the back tyre is the same colour, whereas in that other one, the yellow one, it was green at the back. But I think that was maybe just custom restoration or whatever. So yeah, this is all the same colour. And the seat's black in that one. I wonder what colour the seat was in the other one. I never even looked. Not very observant. Oh, the seat's upholstered in green in the other one as well. They're super fancy. I think most of them are black though. I think that looks fairly standard. Oh, there's a really nice navy blue one here as well. I'm getting all excited about Vespa scooters. And sadly we never had Mildred on it. Missed opportunity. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because obviously really the only colour that we've got for Mildred is we've got the pink of our udder, because she's black and white. So that's the kind of pink we're looking at. And her horns are like a sort of, in polychromos colours I would call it green gold. So for those of you that are familiar, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because it was like a slightly metallic clay that we used on them originally. Okay, maybe they're leaning a bit more towards brown, but that's basically the colours that we're working with. Like, this needs a bit of raw umber. Yeah. So, in terms of Mildred herself, that's assuming that she doesn't have sunglasses on or a hat on or whatever, you know, I'm talking about her like in her raw form. That's really the only colour that we've got for her, so I think the blue would probably be better. Baby blue and pink can't go wrong, that's why I suggested it. Fair. Well, I think we've got options. I kind of like the blue, because the other thing as well is if we're going to put, I don't know what, if we put a helmet on her, right, here's the thing, right, and this is why we discuss these things, because if we put a helmet on her, are we going to give her a Viking helmet, you know, so that her horns are part of the helmet, or it's a hole where her horns stick out? Because she is going to look like she's got a Viking helmet on if we do that, and it is going to be one of the traditional like round, you know, maybe with the stripe on it or something. So she's either going to look like she's got a Viking helmet on, or do we have it so that her horns just aren't there? But then there's her ears as well, because if her horns are poking out, where are our ears going to go? Are we just going to leave our ears alone? Like, are our ears going to be tucked in? Or do we have ears as well? Because if we do, that's a lot going on, given that we're going to be giving her goggles as well. Do you see what I'm getting at? Like, this is complicated. Yes, we know, Jan, stop it. So, or do we not give her a helmet and just give her a really big pair of goggles? Because bearing in mind her eye placement from the front, obviously she's a cow, so her eyes are off to the side. And then we've got her nose. So do we give her like big goggles? Because if we gave her goggles, we could give her like minion eyes. You know, we could make her eyes like this big, and that would let us really get in on the derpy eye situation. But the goggles would have to be quite far apart because our eyes are quite far apart. So we'd probably have to have a joining section in the middle, and then have them like something like this. And saying that, we could make that middle part thicker. That wouldn't be too much of a problem. Angela thinks just goggles. I don't want to go with sunglasses, Theo, because there's going to be loads of other stickers where she's going to have sunglasses on. I want to keep the sunglasses for like maybe the sandcastle one or the deck chair one or something like that. I definitely think we should just go with goggles though. Helmet would have been fun, but again, I'm trying to think about scale. The size of a sticker is maybe going to be that big. So if you've got Mildred on a Vespa, and then you've got your horns and ears and stuff, that's a lot of detail to like fiddle about with. And even if you do draw it on a bigger scale, when you scale it down for a sticker, quite a lot of that will get lost, I think. She can have a helmet for skydiving. You didn't forget the fluttering udders in the sky yet, because her udder's just gonna go like that. Just like a butterfly. Oh, right, okay, I think we'll do that one next, because that'll be funny. Oh dear. But this is why Mildred has stuck with us. There's so much potential. There's so much udder potential. Right, okay. Anyway, let's see if we can get Mildred on. I'm quite happy. That's made me a bit more comfortable. Obviously I'll spend a little bit more time tweaking the actual Vespa so that it's in proportion and things like that. So thinking about what we've just talked about, then we need to find a good angle. My thinking is that if she's side on like this, then we can really get that feel of movement. As I say, we can have her tail up and like doing stuff. I feel like our udders would be like squished in here, so we would have to kind of show that they're squished in, and our wee legs are going to be like hanging down here somewhere. But again, that would probably be good for goggle view as well. And we could make them really pronounced, given that we've we've let ourselves off with the helmet situation, and our ears could like be like kind of flapping back as well. Our ears could be out here. My coffee. That reminds me of a funny story. The first so many moons ago. Right, I think I'm gonna use this as a starting point. I think that's valid. Do we want our facing the other way though? I have a tendency to make things face this way because I'm left-handed. Maybe we should do it the other way. Maybe she should be facing this way. So let's yeah, right, let's get a wee Vespa down here, but I'll try and be a bit more accurate with what's going on. So let me get a good side-on view as well. $125cc Vespa. That's really funny. It makes me laugh. Like our quad bikes are 900cc and that's the little one. Oh, there's a really good side view. Okay. Some of the new ones are really fancy. Like super fancy. There's a pink one. Right, that's quite a good side view. Right, okay. Excellent. So we'll try and make this a bit more accurate, and then we'll figure out how we're gonna get Mildred fitting into this situation. So body's coming down like this. This might take me a bit of practice to get right, to get it like 100%. I feel as if I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. Well, I mean, I am. There's no doubt about it, but I'm just winging it for the time being. It's been a while since I've had to, you know, just draw something straight off the bat like this. It's probably good for me. And then the back comes up here. And that's roughly in line with this, where this kicks in. And then we've got this curve. Foot plate. And then we've got our light here. And some handlebars. This is kind of like the headstock unit for the... This pink one's really cute. It's got a white seat on it. It's nice. This one needs to be a bit further back. Okay, so that's given me a base to work from, because again, Mildred's proportions aren't exactly accurate. I think you need to look at the cow in Mario Kart. Well, see, this is the thing, it's proportions, because Mildred for a cow has extremely short legs, and that's kind of the opposite of what cows are. I think if we were to draw Mildred with her original proportions, but standing as a proper quadruped, I think you would find that our udder would be sat on the floor. So, and now we're trying to cram her into like human proportioned things. I do feel like her mass should take up the entire seat. So a lot of time on Vespas, you see people have a passenger, and I feel like Mildred's a cow. She's got a fat ass, so she should probably take up quite a lot of the bulk of that seat. And she's basically a triangle shape. Let's be realistic. So I don't even know how, because I feel like even that our hoofs are too long. We could still keep our sitting down shape here right enough. And our wee legs could just be like dangling down here, like our wee hoofs could be dangling down here. That might work. And then our wee tail would be out. Oh, it's tickling me already. It's tickling me already. Because I kind of want to get our little creases in round our cankles as well. Like, I still want that to be a thing. And then we've got our gigantic head. It's looking silly already. Would she not need to be leaning forward with such little legs, or front legs? Well, maybe she should be leaning forward anyway, Jan, because she's going fast. I like that. Good shout. So we could probably keep this part the same, to be fair, but have her more at... Oh, and her udder could be dangling off the front of the front of the seat. No, there's no pedals on a Vespa. There might be a foot brake somewhere. Again, I've never ridden one, I don't know. We really don't need to get into the technicalities of this though, because our feet are not going to touch the foot plate. But no, I don't. Vespas don't have a foot pedal as far as I know. If anybody knows otherwise, please correct me. Yeah, no, our feet aren't going to be reached. Come on, Jan. Right, so if we have her, yeah, so if we keep her more in this position, because then it makes it look like she's going fast. And then our chubby little front legs would reach the handlebars. That'll work. But it means our udder can dangle down in this bit here, which, I mean, that's just perfect. Come on. I can't with this already, it's hilarious. Oh, I'm so happy right now. I've not even drawn her head yet. I'm so happy right now. I'm already thinking about the... I'm already thinking about gravity in our udder and how I'm going to do this. I haven't even got to that bit yet. Oh no. Vintage ones might have had a foot pedal, says Google. Okay, well, let's say I'm not, honestly, like, not overly concerned about it. She's not... But the other thing as well is, like, I mean, Mildred is just not, like, anatomically correct. She doesn't have much of a snout for a cow, all things considered. So yeah, I feel like her ears would be like that. She looks a bit like a pig just now. This isn't very good. But let's get our big googly eye in. She does actually look like a pig. That's okay though. I'm not concerned about that. Yeah, that's perfect for our arms as well. Okay. Right, so let's concern ourselves with this udder. So this is something that's quite important now as well, just for detail. We don't want our udders to rub against the leather seat. Does anyone else see the irony of a cow sitting on a leather seat? Oh dear. So really, like, this is our... Right, yeah, so anyway, getting sidetracked here. It's very important that we've got contrast between the seat and the black and white patches on our leg, and also our udder as well. So we need to make sure that we keep those elements separate in terms of colour and shading. It's not our leather after all. It's vegan leather. God. So the question is our udder going to be like... I can't make her teats that big, goodness me. It's like sausage teats. I feel like they should be slightly curving back the way as well as down the way though. Maybe we would just see the edge of that one. Oh, I just can't with this today. Like, I just can't. Oh. Or does she have a fluffy seat cover to keep her buttocks warm? That's one thing cows don't need, is to keep their buttocks warm, I can tell you that. A soft leopard skin cover. Oh my god. Right, okay, let's I need to fix her head shape. So I feel like our ear, again, our ears are like disproportionately big, and then we've got our horn, which comes out here. Now, we never really did anything with the top of her head. See, because we put a Santa hat on her. Originally, I mean. So our other horn's going to be here, because that's where it belongs. We might not be able to see her ear on the other side. She does have a tuft of hair on her head, though. When I did draw her without her hat on, she does have like a wee bit of hair. So, because I've told you this all before, but we have a lot of mixed breed cows, and they depending on what breeds they've come from, it's like long-haired guinea pigs. You just don't really know what's going to happen until they come out, and some of them have like little tufts, and some of them have got like long like fringes, and so I felt it was only appropriate. But our hair would definitely like be, you know, be back the way. I feel like I do need to make her a bit more cow-shaped, like an actual cow, rather than Mildred shaped, so that she doesn't look too much like a pig. So that's a bit better. That's a bit more. I don't want to exaggerate it too much though. Her eyes like are going to be like more there. Well, again, I thought about that Katara. The thing is, as well, though, its positioning here with the leg and everything, I don't want this to get too busy. So I feel like down and away would make more sense. She's pretty adorable, isn't she? Her ear's not big enough, though. Okay. I feel like the proportions are good because, again, if you think of a cow sitting on a Vespa, you know, you want her to look slightly uncomfortable. No wind in the other area on a scooter. It depends how flappy your teats are, though, Jan. Some of them don't need wind to flap about. Yeah, I feel like we should have one kind of like pointing back the way. But again, we'll work out those finer details. I kind of like Thea's idea of giving her a scarf, though. Like, maybe if we put, again, we could have a wee bit, you know, like the old Biggles scarf with the... something like that. Right, I'm actually going to look up aviation goggles because I feel that would be a bit more dramatic than other goggles. Yeah, like... So if we were going to do something like that, they would have to come here and go up behind her ear. And we would bring this out. She actually looks really good. I'm really enjoying her like this. Sadly also leather. You'll get the fluttering udders with the skydiving. Yeah, well, we're going to be having the similar goggle situation with the skydiving as well, although we could... here we go, I'm off on a tangent again. I'm going to go back to this page. See, for skydiving, if we're going to give her a helmet, I would have her eyes like... Because again, that would definitely be a square on view because her legs are going to be here if she's skydiving, and her udders are going to be like... You know, her teats are going to be like... So what I would do is I would put her eyes like actually poking outside the front of the helmet, and then we could have her... That horn's the wrong way down. Come on, Jem. But that means we could have ears and horns, like... So, yeah, we can skip the goggles on the skydiving one. You know which sticker we're doing next, don't you? They've drawn her definite no helmet. Oh, for this one, Jan, for the Vespa. I think so. Oh, she's so cute. I don't. The thing is, though, we won't see much of our actual markings on our face here, which I kind of wanted to put in. Did you notice as well? We never gave her an ear tag in the original picture. She's got a really thick bit here as well. She definitely looks much more like a cow now and less like a pig, which is nice. I'm sure she's got white on her. I'm trying to think of the model's in a box. I really should have brought that out for reference, but I'm sure she's got like white bits around the side. I'm gonna have to dig it out. And then her arms are dark, but she's got mostly white here, and she's mostly black on her back. Again, yeah, her head's black, and then she's got, so I've got this one. This was accurate to the model. I did choose the model for this one. So she's got this black patch here, and then that's right round her bum's all black as well, which, yeah, and it's the front that's white. Okay. And on her front, she's just got a couple of patches. I mean, this doesn't have to be completely accurate, but I would like to keep it as accurate as possible. Oh God, she's so cute. Now you're with the relative in here tag. No, it's just, I just noticed that we never gave her one. Mr. Jem's ear tags this year. So his system is that when we start calving, the tags that the calves get, they're a different colour every year, so that if he keeps calves as cows, when he's looking at them when they're older in a herd, he knows roughly how old they are by the colour of the ear tag. And this year they're purple, and they're such a lovely shade of purple. Like it's not purple and it's not lilac, it's kind of like somewhere in the middle, and it's just a really pretty colour of purple. Very nice, very snazzy. Ruin our pretty ears. Okay, right. Like, right, let's go. And my hands must be really grubby. I keep leaving marks everywhere. I need I want a wee fine liner though. Not a 08, that's far too big. Here is the oldest fine liner in the history of Western Europe. This came in like one of my very first scroller boxes, the Edding 1800 Profi pen, and as far as I know this still works. Yeah, it does. This is such an old fine liner. Oh, maybe it doesn't still work. Oh no, we're kind of dried out. Oh, I was so excited there. Yeah, no, that needs to go in the bin. Boo. It's about 8 years old though, so we'll not worry too much. Right, okay, let's find another fine liner. There's the Statler pigment liner. That was from the last scroller box. This is the one with a nice texture on it. I'll use that one. That's a 0.3. I will be doing a shop update just shortly. I'm waiting on something coming, and the package has, well, I say it's gone missing. It said it was delivered, but it wasn't delivered here. The problem that causes for me is there's a lot of properties around, and it could have gone to anyone. Plus there's the farm office and so on and so forth. Like, there's so many places it could have gone, and the whatever tracking service was used, it was one that I've never heard of. They don't provide a photograph, so I can't even try and sort of like figure it out. So the first place I always look is the farm office. So that's like Mr. Jem's like office outside. I'll need to go down and see if it's been put through the door there, because it is like the first available letterbox, if you like, if you're driving through the farm. So that 9 times out of 10, that's where it lands. Anyway, once I figure it out, there's a WhatsApp group for all the residents on the farm as well. So failing that, I'll get Mr. Jem to to send a wee message round and just see if anyone's got it. The problem with that is a lot of people are on holiday just now, and I need this parcel for the shop update, so it's kind of annoying me. But anyway, as soon as it's done, I will put up a post on the YouTube landing page, and we'll get some more goodies on the go in the shops. That's kind of coming up in the next little while. And as I say, get the situation with the polychromos pencils figured out as well. But yeah, I just wanted to have some. I wanted to have something semi-solid here to work from. Because, I mean, we've been through this enough times now. You all know that the sticker process, it takes a while. Like, it does take a while. If you want a really good, high-quality sticker, then there is a bit of work to be done. I am 100% gonna go and haul Mildred out of her box, though. Original Mildred. I feel like I need a bit more Vespa practice as well, though. I don't know what to do about the wing mirror as well. I don't know whether that's a bit too fiddly to add in. What colour on the polychromo scale are the new tags? Ooh, good question, Jan. I want to say mauve, but I don't think. Let me just hang on. I will answer that question for you. Lighter than purple violet. Manganese violet? I would say they're crimson. They're like an almost pinkish purple. Yeah, they're like that colour. There you go. Question answered. Yeah, I would say, yeah, they're okay. I think they're halfway between manganese violet and crimson. I'm just like squinting at that now. Yeah, I would say that the colours in there, they do. There's a very definite like pinky tinge to them. Put it that way. You're welcome, Jan. You're welcome. So we've got this light here as well. I just wanted to get something solid down. So I've got something to work from. Oh, goodness me. Oh, that line was not supposed to happen. And then we've got our, oh, goodness me. I've kind of lost the lines for our other here. Oh, I just can't with this. So we can see a bit of a teat there. Maybe this one's... yeah. Oh, Mildred, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I kind of want a wing mirror now as well. So if our handlebar is just there, then yeah, we might not see it though. That's the only thing. I think that's too fussy. Do you know that? I feel like that's too fussy. I'll just put our wee hoof in there. Oh, well, I'm not doing very well with the inking this morning. I like to ask the essential questions. Maybe our bum should be like hanging off the back a little bit. That's another consideration that I hadn't really given much thought to until now. See, I'm pretty sure she's got spots on her legs. I can't tell from this picture. Okay, so we've got a basic Mildred shape to work with there though. You think that's too small for a read end. Right, okay, so this is the good thing about this though, and this is why I wanted to ink it as well. I'll just get rid of my pencil lines that are there because that makes this a bit easier. So I think we need to make our derriere bigger. Like I feel like it should like almost hang down a wee bit for sure. Other than that, maybe make her give it an extra bit in our scarf. But other than that, that's kind of... Spillage would be an element. I think that's where we're kind of going with it. I don't want to put too much detail into the scooter either. This is the thing. Again, I'm trying to think in sticker form because that is likely where this is going to go. So you want a level of detail, that's important, but you don't want it to kind of like take over because you end up losing all of that and then you've just got a sort of massive lines and, you know, one thing and another. I do think we should maybe put in the little foot plate. No flower basket. Where's the flower basket going to go? This is exactly what I'm saying. No. I can see Mildred on a traditional bike with a basket though. Now that you say that, do you not think? On a little shopping trip to the market. Yeah, she could. Yeah, she could have a shopping basket, but she could have like a shopping bag like hanging over the handlebar, and you know it could have like a squash hanging out of it or something. I don't know. But this is the really nice thing about designing stuff like this, and it's why I get so much enjoyment out of it. And you guys obviously do too, because really, I mean, there aren't any rules, but it's nice to find the challenge and the balance between reality and our imaginations and fantasy. Do you not remember the great debate we had when we did Gloria and we were having this massive debate about our udders and our coconut bra? You know, and that was that we needed to figure that information out. That was really important, and that's what I love about stuff like this. You know, it's half the fun. So we need a colour for our scarf as well. We need to figure that out. Oh, black pencil. I've got pencils everywhere just now. So she's got a black bit here. She kind of looks as if she's got sleeves, doesn't she? Yeah, this black bit comes up here. It's kind of hard to remember. It's been a wee while since I've drawn her. You might see the wee bit of the flash of her white at the front of her face there, just the angle that she's at. And her tuft's definitely black. Yes, we might see that little bit at the front there. For some reason that makes me happy. I don't know why. Like I don't know. It does. It makes me happy. A basket and a bike is fine, but not on a scooter. Match the scarf with the Vespa. So it's nice to see as well, you know, what, even when it's just rough like this, but what the colours look like together. I don't know, maybe our scarf should be something. Because I was thinking for, you know, when we do our horns, that was a very poor representation of our horns, but I was just kind of running out of room at the top of the sketchbook page there. I was kind of thinking we could match the colours a wee bit with the goggles. Again, just to keep you know, a nice sort of uniform. I'd probably go with more green gold though. And head into, because I think for her eyes I would just put like 2 highlights in and just have her her eyeball fill the whole, like I think that would be, or maybe have a little bit of white. See, again, that's something I'll play about with. Let me get the Posca pen out. I forgot the pink inside her ear, goodness me. Oh, does anybody agree with me that the scarf should be fatter than that? I think it should. I think that's maybe too, or is a skinny scarf more stylish? Yeah, I'm thinking maybe if we have a little bit of the white of her eye. And give her, oh, that's better. that's the one. Fatter scarf. Yeah, I think maybe fatter. But I was thinking about, you know, like stylish Italians that wear, you know, little sort of thin silk scarves. So again, but that's something I can play about with. This is, see, where we're having all the important conversations. I don't know if I want the scarf the same colour as the bike though. I definitely want her bum hanging over the back of the Vespa though. Get the important stuff figured out. That's funny. Maybe. Right, do you know what I'm going to do? White silk. Well, again, it's going to be white background though. Again, thinking in sticker terms. I didn't point out this morning, but it's obviously very obvious now. I have my fruit pyjamas on. I am authentic. I have the matching bottoms on. When we've done the early bird streams, a lot of the time it's actually too cold in here to sit with just pyjamas on, and it's just because of the positioning of the room in relation to the rest of the house. The rest of the house is just much warmer, but today I'm actually able to sit in my pyjamas. So I went and got my colour wheel. So if we did a split complementary, so we've got blue and pink. So, well, that's basically saying pale green. Or if we did a triad, then that's saying yellow, which kind of fits in with this. Maybe we could have a blue and yellow scarf. Let's see what yellow looks like. Want to go in on those scarves. Oh, yellow might just be the little pop that we're needing. Again, because what we can do is we can take this green gold colour, which you all know I'm a fan of, but that would give us some, you know, we could get some shading in there. It's kind of tying in with again the colours up here. What do we think? Or we could make it like a lemon yellow, you know, because we're kind of like soft pink, soft blue. Maybe we should be lemon yellow. I could even use the cream pencil. I'd probably get away with that. Now you've got the colour wheel out, I need to consider light source next. And we're not worried about light source just now. I've barely been able to draw a vest smudge in, one thing at a time. So that's the cream pencil. Yeah, I think somewhere between there, maybe not a bright, that's the light cadmium yellow. Maybe not a bright yellow, because again we're kind of like almost pastel shades here. But I think that ivory, I was kind of thinking that as well, Thea. I think the ivory, again, I'm thinking about how that's going to transfer to print. We'll probably lose a lot of that. Yeah, I don't think that's going to... I think we'll go with the yellow, but not. I wouldn't go cadmium yellow. I don't think. I'll maybe go cream and bump it up with this green gold. Yeah, I think the cream would be better than the cadmium yellow. Okay, right. Well, that's good to know. I better write that down because I'll be like, what colour was that again? Oh, chucking my pencil away. Okay, excellent. Right guys, I'm going to take a wee break here. It's time flies when you're having fun. It is 5 to 8. When we come back, I would like to do a rough layout for the skydiving Mildred. That seems to have been the natural progression here. So we'll start a few wee doodles down here. The shape is already firmly in my mind though, about like what the shape the sticker's actually going to look like. It's basically going to be like a star shape. So when we come back, we'll do a wee bit of that, and again we'll get your input. With horns and ears and things. So feel free to talk about what you're having for your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. I know we don't have Ulrika this morning, but I'm sure you can make enough conversation about that amongst yourselves, and I'll be back in just a wee minute or two. A wee minute or two. Oh, right, so, yes, I'm back. How are we all? Sandwiches for dinner, no more cooking for today. I can totally and utterly relate to that one. I've just brought my tea through. I've left my tea bag in it because it needs to stew for a wee while. Veggie cheese soup. Oh, that sounds good. I've been given a small courgette by one of the bell ringers on Thursday, so I need to think of something to do with that. I can make a suggestion. Oven roasted courgette, see if you slice them up. And drizzle a wee bit of, I don't know if you use low calorie spray or like olive oil or something, with a little bit of black pepper on it. Really, really good. Porridge, going to the farm shop, had haircut later, so who knows what's for dinner. This evening, I have made chilli. I made chilli yesterday, so that's dinner tonight. I don't know what's happening at lunchtime. My schedule for today after the stream is I've got some shop orders to take to the post office. So that needs to be done before 12 because the post office shuts at 12 on a Saturday. And then I am coming back. I've got doggies to take for a walk. And then I'm going outside to paint the front of the house. So we have, we've painted the extension. We ran out of time last year. The building work wasn't finished until like the first week in August. And obviously that's harvest time for us as well. So we just ran out of weather for painting the outside. So we basically got cracked on this year, but the rest of the house needs painted as well, so that's going to be me for a couple of hours this afternoon, which I'm sure you can agree with me, it's going to be terribly exciting. I'm just going to get some headphones on, get some good music on, and kind of like get going with it, so, and just get as much done as I can. So say we've done the extension part, but we're on to I've got a jock here in my tea already. Lovely. Jock is a very itchy boy this morning. He's been scratching at his elbow, and he's got a callus there just from lying on hard floors, but he's actually made it bleed this morning. That's how much he's been chicken. So I had to give him some medication. It takes a wee while to kick in, but this is like peak itchy time for Jock because the crops are ripe. Like the amount of pollen and stuff that's kicking about just now is like at its highest. So if he is going to struggle, it's going to be now. But I've given him his tablets, so within an hour or two he'll hopefully be a bit more comfortable. So that's the plan anyway. So today's going to be quite an interesting day. I don't know when I'm going to get my housework done because I haven't done any of that. I did start some last night, but on a Friday night there's only so much housework you want to do after a full day and be going for a run and doing all that kind of stuff. So I'll see what I'm like later, but that part of the plan was if I made chilli yesterday I won't have to stand and cook tonight. So later on, near the time we would eat, I'll maybe get a bit of housework done then. Fine. I feel sorry for him just now, Katara. The medication does work very well, but because it's a long-term medication, it basically just works like just under the surface, so it deadens the itchy receptors basically, but it's safe for long-term use because it doesn't sort of hang about in their systems for long periods of time, and it doesn't have the adverse effects of like steroids. So Jock's been on it since he was 7, so he's been on it 7 years now, and he's on the highest dose now because, again, the body builds up immunity to these sort of things. We have just been told that there's a new drug on the market though, and it's a very similar mechanism to the one that he takes just now. It's the same price, but it seems to be quite effective in dogs that have been on the one that he's been on for a long time. And it's just anecdotal at this point, but that's 3 different vets I've spoken to, and they've said that in chronically itchy dogs, they've noticed a big difference. So that's what we're going to be moving on to. We're going to use up the medication that he's got, but bearing in mind he's 14 now, he's had his birthday. I don't think he's got maybe any more than 12 months left in him generally, so we'll just see how it goes. But we have, like, over the years we have tried everything, but it's an immune response that was created when he had his freak accident when he was about 6. And it's not just like skin allergies, it's his body just reacts to everything. Stress is another one. So when we take him to the vet, he's quite chilled out at the vet. But about 3 hours after we get back from the vet, he starts scratching like uncontrollably. So there's lots of things that affect it. Food affects it. It's been an absolute nightmare, but 99% of the time we can keep him very comfortable and very happy. But see, just at this time of year, thankfully we're starting harvest on Tuesday. I never thought I'd use that sentence because I hate harvest, as I'm sure some of you know. But once the crops are cut and the straw has been baled, he calms down significantly. Like, his skin's just far less irritated. So we will only be a couple of weeks and he should be a bit more comfortable again. Oatmeal baths, we've tried all that, Katara, honestly. We have thrown everything in the kitchen sink at him over the years. But the drug that he's on, it is very good, and say there's no lasting side effects and no detrimental long-term effects, which was one of the problems with giving dogs steroids, which is just what they used to do. Anywho, Jock's okay, I think. Right, now. That's a good boy. The other thing as well, he's such a sweetheart. Like, see, if you tell him off for something, he's so obedient. He's just like, oh, okay. It's very difficult. I have very itchy skin as well, so I completely sympathise with him. Very, very difficult. And, you know, like, you go to the doctor and they're like, don't scratch it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Right, skydiving. So, again, proportions. So let's have Mildred's slightly tear-shaped body in the middle. Like so. We want the main focus possibly to be the udder this time. And our wee back legs, like, wee. You're itchy too. Oh, bless you. Mint soap helps a ton. I have aqueous calamine that lives in the fridge for the summer, and that is just delightful when it goes on. Oh, it's so good. Oh, hi Calvin, did you sneak in? Antihistamines do nothing for me. I've got prescribed antihistamines. They're like horse pills, they're about that size. They work quite well, but they make you feel as if you've been hit by a bus. Like, I'm fit for absolutely nothing if I take them, so I have to kind of judge. So one of the times I do take them is see if I'm going abroad, because one of the things that affects me is when I go into exposure to strong sunlight repeatedly over a number of days, it brings out prickly heat, and it only lasts about a week and a half until like my skin gets used to it. So if I'm going abroad, we usually go somewhere sunny and warm. So for like a week and a half before I leave, I'll start taking them, and it's just to build it up in my system so that when I go, I will still get a bit of like itchy skin, but it's not nearly as bad. But as I say, I float about like a fart in a spacesuit, for want of a better phrase. So like I can't drive if I take them. Working's difficult, so it's kind of like, you know, pick your battles sort of thing. But the rest of the time, at the moment, and apparently it's hormonal, I'm at that age where definitely in perimenopause, and I had really bad eczema as a teenager. and it's come back now, and it's hormone related, but I've got patches in the oddest of places, and it's just trying to sort of manage them. So yeah, I'm all about the itchy skin. Hemp and peppermint soap that I bathe with, and that seems to keep the itch at bay. That sounds really good. Like, see if you can get something like that. It's great. It just makes your life so much more bearable, doesn't it? Because there's nothing worse. Like, if you've ever had any sort of itchy rash, there's nothing worse than being itchy all the time. It's quite a miserable existence. It's not pleasant at all. Right, let's get a Mildred head on the go. Now, I think her ears. Let's make her head the actual shape. Come on. She looks very strange at the moment. Extra when you're in cut grass on a large scale. Donkey Derby. Itchy skin, I know her too. Yeah, I have to say, I mean, I'm not too bad at the moment. Again, we've not had a lot of sunshine though. Especially my left arm, for some reason, you can see how mottled my skin is there. So that's been like a wee bit itchy, but it's not actually come up in anything. But you can see, I mean, I've got loads of little scars on both my arms. There, I've got a little itchy patch there. And usually here as well as the other place, which funnily enough, my food allergies is the same. That's where it comes up first and down the side of my face. Down here is itchy a lot. But it's just one of those things. I've always had stuff like that. You know, my doctor talks about how you've got the allergy gene, and although your allergies can change, you know, over your lifetime, if you have allergies, you're always likely to have something. And I fall into that camp, unfortunately. But I mean, most of the time, again, just because of the climate here, the sort of environmental factors that make me actually like sunlight, you know, it's not really a big deal in Scotland. You don't have to deal with it that much. But yeah, it's not fun a lot of the time. That is it. Jock settled down now. He's just settled himself down. Bless him. Oh, that was a big horn. Okay, so when we're thinking about being in that sort of prone position for skydiving, here we go. This teat's definitely going to be something like that. If we're going to go helmet, obviously our horns would be poking out. Her ears, I think, would be back the way, you know, like that. Flapping in the wind. Everything's flapping in the wind. I think my problem is that she's got quite a sort of stoic expression. And I think we would need to somehow make her at least look as if she's enjoying herself or terrified or something. I don't I don't know. This is these again the burning questions that we need to answer. Pine tar sol or pinitar sol solution for bath or shower. Stinky stuff, but it helps me. Or sideways like wings. Are you talking about her teats or her ears? Yeah, Billy, I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look for that. Yeah, like right, Katara, you can check out the US, I'll check the UK, and we'll report back. Ears out like wings. okay. I still feel like though if she's, you know, because if she's fallen downwards, so she's basically fallen towards us, our ears would be back the way. Sanex anti-itch. Oh, Sanex makes me itchy. It actually makes me itchy. It's no help at all. I always think that's really funny when people, because everyone's like, oh, use Sanex. And I'm like, no, it absolutely makes things a million times worse. So I don't know what it is that's in it, but my skin does not like it at all. That's funny. Okay, do we think maybe that our whites of her eyes should be down here? Like she's looking up the way? Like, oh. And maybe her wee mouth should be open a bit rather than the sort of closed expression. I don't know. Is this going to be like a visor? You know, I'm thinking like Luke Skywalker type visor. Cortisone cream. Yeah, I've got some sort of steroid cream that I don't even know what it's called because I don't use it very often. I only use that in really, really extreme circumstances though. I have one patch on my stomach of all places, so it's kind of like just below belly button height, but it's on the right hand side, and it is just literally a patch in my tummy. I don't know why it's there. But I do find that my clothes rub that. So if it is itchy, it's fine just now. It's like totally calmed down. But if it is itchy, it's exacerbated by my clothes. And there was a point where that was open and weeping for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I was getting quite concerned about it because it would not, like, it wouldn't dry out, it wouldn't heal over. So I had to use a little bit of cream on that. But it's such a random place, and I don't understand because I know see, and this is the thing, like, see, when I was heavier, I had a much bigger tummy, and I never had that problem. I mean, my clothes were tight at one point, and I never had that problem then. And I find it really odd now that my tummy's a lot smaller, and I don't know, like, there's just no rhyme or reason to it, honestly. So yeah, like, I just see when it comes to itchy stuff, like, I'm so blasé about it, and I'm like, oh, there's another itchy bit, like, just deal with it. Right, I'm looking at the anatomy of Mildred, and our arms actually come out from her shoulders, like I stuck them on at the shoulders, so I'm thinking maybe that these need to be. And again, Jock, stop it. I think that these really need to be out here. Oh, that's funny. I don't even know about shape here. And we're gonna see the underside of her hoof. So she is cloven hoofed. Something like that. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to think about our I'm just gonna say arms so that we can differentiate between the hind and the front legs. Um, I'm gonna have to think about what to do with the shape because literally on the model the clay was teardrop shaped. It was this shape, and then we popped our wee hoof on the end like that. It doesn't look as good. It might look a bit odd if I do that there. But again, that's one of those things like I can go back and forth with. One of the blisters, yeah, mine blisters up sometimes, but not always. But again, when you've got anything against it, it's horrible, isn't it? It was like when I broke my elbow, I already had like a bit of prickly heat, and I was in that dirty great big cast, and that was just torture. It was absolute torture. And the worst of it is, see, when you get into bed at night, you're all right when you get into bed, and then see when you start to heat up in bed, all of a sudden, like, you're just getting to sleep, and then you become like the itchiest ball of itch in the entire planet. Highly unpleasant. Okay, let's round Mildred out a wee bit here. Kind of the shape of her back legs. I'm not entirely sure what to do with this because she's always been in this like seated position. And do you know what I had? The you know the little plastic, they're usually neon, the little plastic cocktail stirrers that you get, obviously is drinking alcohol. I kept one tucked in because my cast, it was literally like from my armpit all the way down my hand. I was so warm with it. Oh, it was horrible. But I kept one of those little plastic cocktail stirrers tucked in the top of my cast there. And then when I started to get itchy, I would just whip it out because I could get in between, because the cast was open, and this part, it had to be an open cast so I could fly. That was the whole point of having the cast on. So I could get in like under the bandages, and then I would just kind of like manoeuvre it round and try and get in. There was a bit of my elbow where I could get up round the cast, so I was kind of like up round this angle and then like in at the crease. Like, oh, it's just ridiculous. But there was times when oh, like I was like, and I'm going like this, and I'm like, I need to stop. I need to stop. I'm like, oh, it's so good. Thankfully, though, I mean, in terms of, because they tell you not to do that when you've got a cast on, but obviously my broken part was here, and that's not the bit that was itchy. It was all like the inside part of my arm. So I was like, yeah, I'm having a good old scratch away at it. When cows burn, not her bum, but her burn. Entire shoulder was varying size of blisters. Wearing a bra was a form of torture. I'll bet it was. Oh dear. Yeah, there's nothing worse than having itchy bits under your bra as well. Like, oh my god. That's just, it's torture. We need to stop talking about this because I'm scratching. It's in behind my knees, which is another place that I tend to get. Well, that's I have dry skin in there. That's from running though, because that's a place where obviously you sweat quite a lot. Like, stop it, stop touching myself, making me itchy. But yeah, anywhere, so like under waistbands and any sort of tight fitting material, if you've got itchy bits under that, that's the worst place, isn't it? And you're like right, so for our back legs, again, I kind of still want our cankles to be on show. So I'm trying to think, because really our legs should be like that shape. Are you okay? Jock's having a wee grumble to himself. Oh, we're just gonna go to sleep, okay. And again, I think maybe like show a bit of her, like the actual cleat of her hoof. That looks a bit off. What if, let me try on this side. What if I kept the joint quite tucked in? Not at that angle though. Again, this is really difficult to balance, like what a cow leg actually looks like with what Mildred looks like with what we're trying to achieve. Like maybe more up the way. Trying to think of the shape. No, that's not right. This is complicated. That would be, because if her legs bent that way, that would technically be the inside part of her hoof. Like that way. This is getting worse. It's getting worse. I think that looks better though than this. Now, normally our udder, obviously it sags, but if we're, if that's the way things are going, then we'd probably see this little bit underneath, I think, as well. I think this leg definitely looks better. That obviously needs work. I'm again thinking about the hoof position. I would like to look at the actual model just to see what I did, because I haven't actually. I mean, obviously the original model of Mildred she's quite old now, but I've drawn so many successive pictures that I think I need to go back and look at the original. I was going to have her tail like up here. Yeah, I definitely think this upward leg position, I mean, it's still not anatomically correct, but again, there's only so much we can do here. But let's go with roughly that then. At least that gives me something to work with. I say I'll need to look at the way that I've done her hoof, and I'll get that accurate to the original model. It would be something like that though. I definitely think an open mouth variety here is going to be the way forward though. We'll make sure we get that nice and nice and wide. That's quite funny. Again though, this is like ideal sticker territory though. We've got a very strong like shape outline, which always makes for a good sticker. I've actually not made our muzzle wide enough there though. That should be a bit bigger. I'm feeling right, okay, I'm feeling a green helmet. I don't know what you'll think about that, but like maybe like a permanent green. Stand underneath and dangle one to get it right. Oh yeah, we need our backpack straps, otherwise she's just free falling. Oh no. Just going through a cow out an aeroplane. Okay, so she's going to have straps here. And there'll probably be a wee buckle that goes across the front there. So if that's the case, we'll put the buckle on. And then there's usually the bit that you pull tight, so that I feel like that should be flapping about as well. We'll have that flapping that way because our tail's flapping that way. We'll get a bit of balance in the picture. Oh, freaking hell. Like, I know I'm shaking my head, but like, this is so much fun. Like, I love doing stuff like this. And again, I'm just farting about with a graphite pencil, but this is like, why would you not want to do this? And maybe we see like a wee bit of her backpack there. Just a wee bit though. Oh yeah, she's looking kitted out now, isn't she? Flappage balance is always good. She looks like she's having a good time, doesn't she? Right, I want to see what she's going to look like with a green helmet on. Oh, jeez. I think what I would do as well is this visor. So I'm thinking like Luke Skywalker, so like pale yellow. So let's put a wee bit of shading in there just for our eyes. And then take like this golden yellowy colour and put it across the whole area. But what I would do is I would make this fit round our nose, so that visor would basically sit, you know, right in there, which would give it a nice shape as well once I've got our nose the right shape. Again, it's slightly off on the original, but that again we wanted to create the derpy, so that would essentially come all the way down. to there. And you know, the best thing is we'd be able to see our little offset white bit in there. So I would need to make sure there was enough of a difference. Our eyes would still have to be quite dark, and I'd probably use a grey pencil, because obviously our that part of our head is dark. So I'd have to be quite careful with colours there, but can definitely make that work. So much fun. Do our udders leak a bit of milk with the force of the wind? What, a bit of overexcitement? I don't know. Possibly. Will the background be light blue for the sky? Again, I don't know. Haven't kind of figured that out. We could do that. I don't know why I keep like drawing her with pig ears. Cows' tongues are not cows' tongues can vary in colour, from a very pale pink through to black. But we'll just need to make sure that there's a difference between her surrounding nose area, so that we get that little bit of definition. But again, that's a finer detail that I can work out later. But as long as you can see like her mouth's open and you can see a wee bit of her tongue. She looks as if she's having a good time though, doesn't she? Again, their hooves aren't usually pink, but hers are pink, so that's just the way that it is. She might not be in Scotland to skydive. Maybe she is in Scotland to skydive. I've never really given much thought to where Mildred hails from. I suppose she would hail from Scotland, wouldn't she? She was created here. So if she's going skydiving, she wouldn't probably be, if she's on tour, she probably wouldn't be skydiving in Scotland, let's be realistic. Right, okay, for the backpack, I want to keep some of the helmet colour, but I feel like we need to introduce orange here, because orange is, you know, one of those colours that they use for things like this, so that you can see what you're pulling and what you're not supposed to pull and all the rest of it. So I would make that wee strap across her stomach orange. And maybe the backpack will use both colours, because why not? I could make the visor orange rather than yellow as well. You know, have that more of an orange tint to it. Oh, Mildred. She's looking good. She's looking good. She'll have to have a bottle of wine for the farmer's market. Oh, that's what's in her basket on her bike, Thea. A bottle of wine and a baguette. And we could give her a berry. Oh. That's very stereotypical, isn't it? That's maybe taking things a wee bit too far. But she would look awesome with a berry. Just saying. So we can actually see our markings properly here. I don't know why I've got an obsession about it, but it's kind of what makes it Mildred, you know, because obviously a cow's markings are quite unique. Otherwise I could be just drawing any sort of generic cow that happens to be skydiving. I don't know. And she's got this wee bit here. Berry must be done. Right, so let's just give her a wee outline then. We might as well. I know this one's a bit rougher, but I feel that just because we had this as a starting point, I feel like this one's gone a bit quicker and a bit better. Because we were kind of like pumping out those ideas already. Something like that. I think I would bring this strap up and over. Again, just really for visibility. Make that into like a proper wee buckle. This arm is very fat as well. I think I'm, you know, thinking about those arms, I think I'll go for a bit more of a taper. But I won't make it as extreme as the original model. I think that looks like a bit of a better shape than just like the sort of blocky rectangle that we had before. Hi Pip, you come to say hi? Are you alright? Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's say hi. It's a good girl. She's looking at me like, will you hurry up? Normally, we're normally at a WALK time about now, when it's a weekday, so that's why she's through, like, what's happening. And the first thing she does, like, she looks me up and down to see what I'm wearing, and she knows normally I change my trousers. So when I walk the dogs, I wear like my high country boots. They're like kind of like riding boots. So I always either put on a pair of leggings or skinny jeans. Because my legs are so itchy just now, I'm trying to wear like loose bottoms in the house or shorts. So when I go through to change my trousers, she knows it's time to go. But she's looking at me to see what I've got on in my bottom half, and obviously she's realised that I'm in my pyjamas. So the WALK is not forthcoming at this particular time. So she's basically just buggered off again. It's like, nah, no dice. Okay, I'll go back to where I was. Jock. Good boy. Skydiving in Switzerland. Mountain hike in Austria, because our mountains are number one. I feel like this is a better hoof shape. Get those teats in. Yes. Ah, right, okay. Guys, I'm going to call it there. I think we're off to an excellent start with our Mildred stickers. I really do. Thank you very much for your input this morning as well. As I say, like lots of burning questions, and this is the place to sort this stuff out. Because you guys have, you seem to have a good vision vision of what these things should look like as well, and you're great for bouncing ideas off of. So I feel like this has been productive. As I say, the main thing now is I will go and get Mildred's her little figurine. I'll go and get her out her box. I need to go and find her. And I think I'll probably spend a wee bit of time just working on these two because we've got some quite solid ideas. There's tweaks to be made, obviously. But I mean, I'll probably go through 3 or 4 iterations of these before I get to what I want to actually put down as the final image. So there's lots of work to be done, but I prefer to take my time. There's nothing worse than creating something, especially something that's going to be a print product. It doesn't matter whether it's an art print or a sticker. If you don't get it right, you're constantly reminded, and every time you pack a shop order with a sticker in it, you're like, oh, I should change that. So yeah, I like to spend a good bit of time, and I would rather them take longer and be right and just be, spot on. So probably focus on these two. Again, there's so many ideas. I don't know how we might have to do them in like 2 seasons. We could maybe do some winter activities with her. We can maybe have a skiing set near Christmas. But usually, the stickers are usually in sets of 4, give or take. So we'll see how we get on, and obviously we'll maybe do a wee bit more of this in another live stream another time. But thank you very much for your input. I've had a very good morning so far. Great way to start my Saturday. So thank you all very much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you back in the cave for another live stream on Wednesday if you're around for Work in Progress Wednesday. Billy, it was lovely to see you in the stream. This is one of the reasons I love doing these early morning streams, because I get to see faces that would usually be sleeping or doing other things when I'm, streaming at a more sensible UK time. So thanks for coming and joining me. I really appreciate it, and it was nice to speak to you. Make sure you use those cheap pencils as well, so your husband doesn't get rid of you. Mildred does the movies. Yeah, nice of you all to come in this morning. I appreciate it. Again, Saturday morning's not for everyone, but thank you very much, and I'll see you all back in the cave really soon. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. I'll see you later.